There are some things that are never going to happen. I'm never going to be 18 again. I'm never going to put on that sudden growth spurt that will get me to 6 foot tall. Even if I started buying a ticket, I'm never going to win the lottery. And sadly, I'm never going to get this guitar finished on time. I've given it a good shot and I've tried my best, but I'm going to have to say the time limit on this one has defeated me. However, it's not the end of the world. And if I'm honest, I'm unwilling to sacrifice quality and run the risk of making a dreadful mistake that could wreck the guitar for the sake of a deadline. So the build's going to get finished. It's just going to be a little bit late. I'm thinking maybe up to a week late. In terms of impact on the competition, some of you may remember when I very first got involved in the competition, I said at that time I was completely unbothered about winning it. I wasn't particularly bothered if people wanted to vote for me. And I think the biggest thing about finishing on time was it would give people plenty of chance to vote for you. But that really isn't part of my agenda. I just want to build the best guitar I can. So we'll crack on and we will get this thing done eventually. And the first part of that is to continue with the neck and get the fingerboard glued on. So we'll get the body out of the way and do just that. However, before we glue this on, there's just one more laminate I'm going to put onto this. I thought I'd just get a little piece of black veneer underneath the fretboard to create a line around the edge, just to give a little bit more interest. So out with the tight bond. Chuck that bit of veneer on. A little bit more glue. And stick the fretboard on. I'll just trim those bits of cocktail stick down nice and flush, just so that they don't interfere with the clamping core. I've got a nice radius block there. And get a bunch of clamps on the job. Okay, so that's the fretboard glued on. I've got it out of its clamps, cleaned it all up, got rid of all the excess glue. There wasn't actually that much, it was quite a clean job really. And I've also, off camera, I've fitted the headstock veneer. And you can see there, it's some flamed maple veneer with a layer of black veneer underneath it, just to give that line again. I think it looks very, very nice. I did consider using some Zebrano, and maybe just cutting a piece wide enough, or maybe even book matching some, but I decided against it because I think it might just be a little bit too much with the Zebrano fretboard. But also I wanted to kind of add some consistency from the body onto the headstock, so this will be coloured the same colour as the body once we eventually get it done. So with all that done, the next step is to actually get some frets into this thing. And for simplicity, I've just bought a set of stainless steel frets from everyone's favourite online retailer. So we'll just bang those in. I've used those before on another couple of builds and they actually work quite well. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this small triangular file and just open out the top of those fret slots ever so slightly, just to give the fret a little bit of a lead in. When we knock it in. And as has become my kind of go-to recently, I'm just going to drop a tiny little bit of tight bond into that fret slot. Just to help fill up any voids that might manifest themselves when we put that fret in. Now I'm not going to nip the tangs on these, I don't see the point on this build, so it's simply going to be a case of sticking it in position and knocking it into place. And just for the time being, we'll just nip the end off those frets. And slowly but surely work my way down the neck. Okay, so I'm down to the last 3 frets now, but this is raising a tiny little bit of a problem because the fretboard at the edges here is totally unsupported, so I don't really want to be whacking that with the mallet because there's a possibility that I could split these little sections of the fretboard. So I've just set up this little block here so that I can support the end of the frets while I'm knocking it in. It's going to be a little bit awkward because I'm essentially going to need 3 hands to do it, but I'm sure we'll be okay. That seems to have got it. A little bit awkward, not too bad. And there we have all of the frets in. So now it's just a case of getting a file and just flushing them all down level with the edge of the fretboard, and then we just need to put a very slight chamfer on. Obviously we will be doing quite a lot of work on these frets a little bit later on down the line when we've got everything else sorted out, but for now we're just going to get them cleaned up so that I'm not going to be ripping my hands to pieces every time I do some work on the guitar. But I'm pretty sure you've all seen me file fret ends down before, so I'll carry on with that off camera and join you back on the next episode when we can look to get this thing flipped over and get the carve on the neck. So until then, as always, like if you've liked, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.